to go live. Let's see if we can go live to Pretoria, where we do have our reporter and police officials, including Gauteng Premier David Makhura, addressing the media on the alleged shooting of a Putco bus drive in the wake of the taxi-related violence in Mamelodi, east of Pretoria. Let's go there live.
National Department of Transport will also meet with the national taxi organizations. We are going as government to continue to talk to them because we want to integrate the taxi industry into our public transport system. We are committed, fully committed to ensure that the taxi industry is part of our public transport system. Those who need help are assisted, but we are not going to allow violence to be used as a means to achieve that objective. So, in our view, has always been, we appeal to taxi leaders to ensure that violence is not the way of life in the taxi industry. And I think we will do everything to ensure that we stem out violence. I also want to clarify that this morning, what actually happened is that there was a shooting of a commuter, and there was media reports that a taxi driver has been, a bus driver has been shot dead. That's not accurate. A commuter was shot in the course of those who were trying to prevent the buses from operating, and 4 people were injured. So one of them shot, the others injured out of the stampede that happened. But only one was shot and injured, and we're hoping that the commuter will recuperate. The driver was also injured in that process. The police have taken full charge from now. The buses are operating. They will do so throughout to ensure that when people return from work in the afternoon and in the evening, the situation is safe. And we're saying if they need resources, they know what to do. If they need support and assistance from the South African National Defence Force, they know the way of doing it. But we have also been talking with the ministers of the security cluster that we will have to do everything here to ensure that Mamelodi is stabilized. And those who have been involved in the killings will be arrested. And those who have been involved in this exercise of attacking the buses, the police are also hot on their heels. We will have a meeting on Sunday with the Mamelodi community. This is going to be a public meeting where provincial government, national government, and the city will be there. We're coming back on Sunday to reassure the people of Mamelodi that we will provide public transport to meet their needs. And we want to send a very strong message. If we allow the taxi operators now to stop the operations of autopacks, they will not stop here. They will. In December, there are new crusher trains that are coming, new locomotives, new rolling stock of trains. They are going to come as far as here. The train runs through here. Those new trains are going to be operating here. If we allow the taxi people now to stop the bus operations, we will be allowing them to stop any modernization of public transport, which is a big intervention of the 5th administration, national, provincial, and local government. Rollout of public transport and investing in new additional buses and trains is our priority. So that's why we want to talk with the taxi operators. Those who are willing to engage with us should work with us, so we incorporate them into the new public transport system, our integrated and more modernized public transport infrastructure. We will not allow the commuters or the communities to be held to ransom once more. So that's our media briefing to you. We go in the community leaders who are here. They are representatives of SANCO, representatives of COSAS. The commuters organization representative was also here, had to go back. the ANC local structures, the South African Communist Party, and other community organizations that are here, which we met with earlier on. All of them support, and they made a call for government intervention to stop the violence and to stop the anarchy and these attacks. And they also made a call that we must continue to ensure that autopacks operate in this area, and that as government we should work with those taxi organizations that want to work with us to address their concerns and their integration into our public transport system. We'll continue to work with them. But we are not willing to yield to criminals and anarchists. And this we will do everywhere, whether as we have done with attempts to have illegal land invasions. We said we will not allow it. Illegal land invasions won't be allowed. And these matters and attempts to remove the buses here out of the routes that they are operating will also not be allowed. On that note, I think the DG of Transport would like to just say something, and the Mayor, but you are going to see us engaging quite a lot everywhere. People are happy. You know, the quality of those autopacks buses are good, and that's what inspires us. We want more, better quality over the next few years to roll out that, and we are willing to go toe-to-toe with those who don't want progress, particularly through violence. DG? The mics. So we must help you. Sorry.
And that is the Premier David Makhura. A very strong message, as you heard there from him. They'll go toe-to-toe with those who do not want progress. And just an update on that story. The driver was injured and not shot and killed, as previously reported in the bulletin. So the driver was injured. There was also a commuter that was shot and 4 people injured. Let's now go back to the press briefing.
What we have discussed and what we will be doing going forward. I don't think it's important to belabor what he has said already. But the important thing is that from government we are tackling the issue head on. There will be continuous discussion between the 3 spheres of government about how to deal decisively with this issue. We will continue to engage with the taxi industry and engage with the proposal that they have put on the table, keeping in mind that some of what they have proposed might require policy and legislative amendments. But we will engage with that. We will talk to them and see how far we can go in assisting them. I think, as the Mayor would probably tell you later, the city has offered to assist them in building a proper business plan for their involvement in the public transport system in this area. But once again, we would want to appeal to the taxi industry that whilst we are engaging with their proposal, they should please make sure that they create an environment that allows us to consider that proposal in an atmosphere that is free of violence. We cannot abdicate our responsibility for the provision of public transport for the people of Mamelodi who must go to work every day. So as we are engaging with their proposal, there must be a public transport provided to those that require it. And the message we have had after engaging with the community of Mamelodi in this hall, the various representatives that are here, is that they are happy with the autobuses that have been deployed here, and that we should continue with that service. But that on the one hand, we have to find a solution with the taxi industry to ensure that the operation is safe and secure. And as it has been indicated already, the auto parks intervention is a temporary solution. We are looking at a more stable long-term solution going forward, but we have deployed auto parks here as a government-owned entity to allow us space to find a permanent solution going forward. And I think for now I would pause here. The Premier has adequately covered the broad message that we are presenting as government. But I think what we need to emphasize is that this is a collaborative effort. It's all the spheres of government working together to tackle the problem. So you will see us again on Sunday as we engage with the community to try and find a permanent solution to this problem. Thank you.
And just to make the point that we are committed to the path that was much earlier defined by MEC Vadi, just now being reinforced by both the Premier and the DG. And secondly, to emphasize that we've made ourselves available to help the taxi industry in putting together a sound and cogent submission to provincial government for possible consideration within the parameters of the law for them to be considered for the routes that have been previously operated by PATCO now, in terms of the interim arrangement being operated by Autopex. And this is part of our integrated rapid public transport network in the city of Tshwane. It will be almost like an extension, or if you like, a variant of the Arieng model. Many of you will know that the uniqueness of our Arieng model is that the buses are owned by the operators of that route where we introduce Arieng. So there's already precedence. We think that it just needs to be adapted and make submission to provincial government going forward. You would have seen as you go out here, we're improving Simon Vermoten, extending the coverage of RNDG to this part of the city. And we think that it must be seen within the total picture of revolutionizing, if you like, public transport in keeping with the modernization aspect of the province. But I think the Premier has covered everything. Thanks.
That's the media briefing in Pretoria there, where you heard the principals addressing the media on the issue of violence, taxi violence in Mamelodi. And as you heard, there will be a public meeting on Sunday, and we'll keep you abreast of all those developments that's happening in Pretoria. So stay tuned right here on Channel 404.